my beautiful Geekables. Welcome to my new subscribers and hello again to my returning subscribers. As an avid movie fan, I found the up-and-coming movie sequels we had no idea were coming in 2024. Well, at least I had no idea they were coming because I still don't know what it is because I haven't watched it. I just saw the title, I saw it was from Looper, and I saved it. So now I want to watch it because I want to know what's coming. So are you ready to venture with me? Let's go on our little journey. Put our headphone in. We have Oliver ready because he has favorite movies too. And let's see what's coming in 2024. Let's roll.
It seems like the appetite for sequels will never be satisfied, and Hollywood is happy to provide as many retreads, revivals, and follow-ups as audiences want. From obscure prequels to mega sequels, 2024 is filled with familiar stories.
Okay.
While the nearly silent A Quiet Place stays entirely focused on one small family headed by parents played by Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, who also co-wrote the script and served as director, the sequel, A Quiet Place Part 2, zooms out. That film brings the surviving characters from the first film into contact with a small, peaceful community that's managed to stay isolated from the sound-seeking monstrosities prowling the world around them. Now, a third A Quiet Place film is on the docket. Pig writer-director Michael Sarnowski will oversee A Quiet Place Day One, and word has it that Blunt and Krasinski won't appear. Instead, the leads will be played by Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn of Stranger Things fame. We don't know much about the plot, but we do know that A Quiet Place Day One will be released on March 8th, 2024. The Kung Fu Panda franchise combined some potentially ill-fitting pieces: martial arts, talking animals, an ancient setting, comedy, and action. But in terms of acclaim and box office, the gambit worked. In the original Kung Fu Panda from 2008, Jack Black voiced Po, an energetic panda in a fantastical ancient China where animals rule and people don't exist. Po is selected as the Chosen One, a Kung Fu master known as the Dragon Warrior.
You? Me?
The universe has brought us the Dragon Warrior.
He trains under a red panda. Master Shifu learns to be a hero and teams up with other animals to fight a bunch of bad guys in the film's two sequels, released in 2011 and 2016, to complete the trilogy. Or so everyone thought. But the Kung Fu Panda movies brought in $1.8 billion at the box office, and 3 spin-off TV shows, plus multiple animated specials, proved an enduring interest in the brand, prompting DreamWorks Animation to consider a revival. Plot details are scant, but we suspect that original voice actors Black, Dustin Hoffman, Jackie Chan, Lucy Liu, David Cross, Angelina Jolie, and Seth Rogen will reprise their roles. Kung Fu Panda 4 arrives in movie theaters on March 8th, 2024. Let's get ready to rumble again. Everybody's favorite titans, Godzilla and King Kong, are in training for their rematch. The first film hit theaters and HBO Max in 2021, earning $468 million and impressing critics. Adam Wingard is returning to direct, and this time he's teaming up with an old friend, Dan Stevens, who'll be playing the lead. Stevens and Wingard previously worked together on the horror classic, The Guest. If you haven't seen it, you probably know Stevens from projects like Downton Abbey, Beauty and the Beast, and Legion. He'll be joined by Monsterverse veterans Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, and Kaylee Hoddle, along with newcomers Rachel House, Fala Chen, and Alex Ferns.
Okay. Yes. All right. But when it comes to Kong, what I say goes.
The script is being penned by longtime Wingard collaborator Simon Barrett, Jeremy Slater of Moon Knight, and Terry Rossio of Pirates of the Caribbean fame. The new feature has the two famous screen monsters teaming up again to fight a new hidden threat that is bent on destroying the world. It also dives into the histories of the two characters and reveals what created these creatures and why they are eternally linked to humanity. In the original film, they teamed up to take out Mechagodzilla. This time around, will they throw down against Mechani Kong? Space Godzilla, perhaps? Whatever ends up happening, we're excited for the showdown. In 2015, Mad Max Fury Road reinvigorated the Mad Max franchise, which began in 1979 with Mel Gibson in the title role. Fury Road offered a fresh spin on the post-apocalyptic tale, shifting focus to Charlize Theron's rage-fueled Imperator Furiosa. Mad Max Fury Road wowed audiences and critics alike, with many considering it one of the best action films of all time. Now there's a Fury Road prequel in the works. Titled Furiosa, it brings back back the title character, although Theron won't be appearing in the film. Director George Miller said that, much as he loved Theron's performance in Fury Road, he doesn't have enough faith in de-aging technology to have her reprise her role in the prequel. Instead, the younger Furiosa will be played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Okay. She'll be joined by MCU star Chris Hemsworth and Tom Burke of Mank. The movie will tell the tale of how Furiosa came to be stolen from the green place of many mothers and wound up in the hands of the Great Biker Horde and their leader, Dementus. The main conflict of the story revolves around the war that breaks out when Dementus finds Immortan Joe's citadel. Furiosa has to survive the conflict as she desperately tries to find a way to get home. A fourth entry in the rebooted Planet of the Apes franchise is on the way from Maze Runner director Wes Ball and screenwriter Josh Friedman. In 2020, Ball tweeted that the new film would continue the legacy of Caesar, the leader of the apes in the first 3 films.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
But Caesar ended the third movie mortally wounded, leading to speculation that Ball was referring to Caesar's son, Cornelius. Further news on the project came in August 2022 when it was announced that Owen Teague will play the lead primate. He'll be joined by co-stars Freya Allan, Peter Macon, and William H. Macy. Amanda Silver and Rick Jaffa, who wrote Rise and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, are back for the 4th installment. In an interview with FilmSpeak, they teased, Caesar created something and left a legacy. So then the questions are, what happens with that? What becomes of his legacy? After bringing children's playthings to life with the Toy Story films and inviting viewers into the secret worlds of fish, monsters, and superheroes with Finding Nemo, Monsters, Inc., and The Incredibles, Pixar gave us Inside Out in 2015. The film explored the triumphs and agonies of adolescence as experienced through the eyes of a kid named Riley and the personified emotions that live inside her head. The film won Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards and took in $857 million, prompting Disney to put Pixar to work on a sequel. Kelsey Mann, a Pixar veteran who co-wrote The Good Dinosaur, will direct Inside Out 2, and Inside Out screenwriter Meg LeFauve will write the script. Sadly, we know for a fact that Mindy Kaling will not reprise her role of Disgust.
Riley is acting so weird. Why is she acting so weird?
As for the plot, Riley is now a teenager, which means there will likely be some new characters taking up residence in her head. Inside Out 2 lands in theaters June 14th, 2024. In January 2019, Mission Impossible franchise creative leader Christopher McQuarrie announced that the 7th and 8th installments in the enduring Action Spy franchise would film consecutively, but then delays brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, and with it Cruise's contractual obligations to promote Top Gun Maverick, pushed everything back. As Dead Reckoning Part 1 is now scheduled for theatrical release in the summer of 2023, its immediate sequel, and the 8th entry in the Mission Impossible series overall, has been pushed back. Details of the follow-up are under wraps, but we know there will be a stunt involving a biplane 2,000 feet up in the air, with Tom Cruise actually standing on the thing instead of sitting in it like a normal person.
But why?
Even before the release of the Despicable Me spin-off feature, Minions: The Rise of Gru, Universal is looking ahead to the next installment of the main franchise. Despicable Me 4 is slated to hit theaters on July 3rd, 2024. The animated Despicable Me films center around a reformed supervillain named Gru, voiced by a heavily accented Steve Carell, who leaves his dastardly ways behind after adopting a trio of adorable daughters and discovering the joys, frustrations, and responsibilities of parenthood. Aided by his troupe of gibberish-spouting yellow minions, Gru has spent each Despicable Me film venturing into unfamiliar territory to make the world a safer place for his family. Along with Carell, returning for Despicable Me 4 are Kristen Wiig, Pierre Coffin, Miranda Cosgrove, and Steve Coogan, along with director Chris Renault, who helmed the first 2 films. He'll be joined by co-director Patrick Delage, who directed both Sing movies, and the duo will be working off a script by School of Rock scribe Mike White. While we don't yet know the plot for Despicable Me 4, we can only imagine it will once again see Gru face off against a scheming villain to save the world, even though he admires their diabolical plan just a little bit. After the massive commercial success of Disney's photorealistic remake of The Lion King, it seemed like only a matter of time before a sequel was announced. However, the person taking over the directorial reins from Jon Favreau for Lion King 2, now titled Mufasa the Lion King, is probably not a name most people would have expected to hear. Barry Jenkins, the Academy Award-winning writer and director best known for making poignant dramas with strong racial themes, including Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk. Jenkins will be working from a script by Jeff Nathanson, who also wrote the first Lion King. While no specific details of the plot have been revealed, we know the film will be a prequel to the first film, following Mufasa and Scar in their younger years.
I'm very interested in
Well, look who's come down to mingle with the commoners.
It'll also introduce several new characters. However, no further information has been provided about these characters, including what types of animals they are or whose side they might be on. Although Lion King seems like an outlier in Jenkins' filmography, the director sounds excited about working on the sequel for Disney, saying, "Having the opportunity to work with Disney on expanding this magnificent tale of friendship, love, and legacy, while furthering my work chronicling the lives and souls of folk within the African diaspora is a dream come true." In 1996, Twister stormed its way to blockbuster status, offering an irresistible combination of fantastic actors, romantic tension, science jargon, and a frightening villain, the weather. Directed by action movie stalwart Jan de Bont, Twister depicts a team of university scientists led by Dr. Joe Harding, played by Helen Hunt, as they try to put a data gathering device to work during an onslaught of tornadoes. She's forced to team up with her ex-husband, played by Bill Paxton, to get everything operational, especially when their sneering rival Dr. Jonas Miller plans to use a device he built himself. Twister picked up $241.7 million at the box office, so a sequel makes sense. It just took a long time for all the necessary pieces to come together. In October 2022, Deadline reported that legendary filmmaker and Amblin Entertainment boss Steven Spielberg loved a script written by Mark L. Smith, best known for The Revenant, and put the film into pre-production. After Top Gun Maverick director Joseph Kosinski dropped out due to a scheduling conflict, it was reported that Lee Isaac Chung of Minari fame will direct. Producers are hoping to sign Helen Hunt, as the plot of the sequel, currently titled Twisters, will emphasize her relationship with her daughter, whose father was the character portrayed by Paxton, who died in 2017. The film will roar into theaters on July 19th, 2024. 2019's Joker takes a daring new approach to Batman's most famous adversary, as inspired by gritty 70s cinema as it is by comic books. Joaquin Phoenix plays Arthur Fleck, a troubled wannabe comedian who suffers an emotional breakdown on the way to becoming the clownish supervillain. Joker earned more than $1 billion at the box office, and Phoenix took home the Best Actor Oscar for his work in the film. Clearly, there's demand for additional movies about this Joker's rise to infamy. According to The Hollywood Reporter, director Todd Phillips discussed tackling more DC Comics movies mere days after Joker debuted. In June 2022, Phillips confirmed rumors of a sequel when he posted a photo of the next Joker script to Instagram. The snapshot revealed that the film will be titled Joker Folie à Deux. Folie à Deux is a psychological term referring to a delusion shared by multiple people, which suggests a tantalizing team-up.
Arthur, you're on 7 different medications.
That could be cool.
Surely they must be doing something.
As it turns out, Phoenix will return in the title role alongside Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. And in a fascinating twist, the new film will be a musical set in Arkham Asylum, providing at least some of the musical content will be composer Hildur Guðnadóttir, who won an Academy Award for scoring the first Joker film. As for the rest of the cast, Phoenix and Gaga will be joined by Brendan Gleeson, Catherine Keener, and returning Joker actor Zazie Beetz. The film will dance its way into theaters on October 4th, 2024. An allegory about environmentalism and imperialism, Avatar was a visually stunning experience. Set in the distant future on the idyllic planet of Pandora, the film saw an Earth-based contingent seeking a rare substance and interacting with the indigenous blue-skinned Na'vi. In the middle of all this, paralyzed former Marine Jake Sully fully embraced the Na'vi culture by way of his mental link-up with his avatar, a genetically modified Na'vi body that shares his DNA.
It'll be a fresh start on a new world. You can do something important. You can make a difference.
In 2009 and 2010, Avatar became a worldwide pop culture sensation and the highest-grossing movie ever made. Writer-director James Cameron announced weeks after the first film hit theaters that he was working on a sequel, and by the end of 2010, Cameron promised a third Avatar. By 2015, those plans had ballooned into a 5-film series. Of course, such complicated movies take a lot of money and time to realize.
I haven't seen the sequel yet, so.
The aquatics-heavy Avatar: The Way of Water hit theaters 13 years after the original. But audiences packed into theaters as they had for the first film, to the tune of $1.9 billion in ticket sales. In the wake of the first sequel's success, Cameron has dropped some details about Avatar 3, telling Deadline, fire has a symbolic purpose in the film, and there's a culture that is specifically around that concept. You're going to meet two completely new cultures in the next film. Evidently, the Fire Nation will be a bit different from your normal Na'vi. Led by Una Chaplin from Game of Thrones, the so-called Ash people will be a villainous bunch. Cameron told the French news outlet 20 Minutes, "I want to reveal the Na'vi from another angle because so far, I've only shown their good sides. In the early films, there are very negative human examples and very positive Na'vi examples. In Avatar 3, we'll do the reverse." We also know that instead of Jake Sully doing voiceover, Avatar 3 will be narrated by his son, Lo'ak. And we can also expect to see the return of Pycon, the Tulkun, and Scoresby the Whaler. So far, word is the movie will officially be called Avatar: The Seedbearer. The third Avatar opens on December 20th, 2024. After the initial trailer sparked revulsion from fans and necessitated a hasty redesign by the studio thanks to a bizarrely rendered version of Sonic the Hedgehog, the first film to feature the character managed to win crowds over at the box office and earn itself a sequel. Yet before Sonic the Hedgehog 2 zoomed onto screens in April 2022, a third film had already been greenlit by Paramount, which will once again bring together Ben Schwartz as the voice of the titular Hedgehog and James Marsden as his endlessly patient and forgiving human best bud Tom, along with Jim Carrey as the villainous Dr. Robotnik. Considering that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 hadn't hit theaters when the threequel was announced, plot details about the third film are still sparse. However, considering that Paramount and Sega have announced a spin-off television series centered around Knuckles, a new character introduced in the second movie and voiced by Idris Elba, we wouldn't be surprised if Knuckles also shows up in a third Sonic, along with Sonic's new sidekick Tails, Tom's wife, Maddie, and Maddie's scene-stealing sister, Rachel. Much like the Blue Hedgehog himself, Paramount is moving fast. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will speed into theaters December 20th, 2024. In his great movie review, Roger Ebert hailed the original This Is Spinal Tap as one of the funniest movies ever made.
It's very, very special because if you can see, the numbers all go to 11.
The 1984 mockumentary tells the story of fading band Spinal Tap, desperately searching for musical glory in a world that's forgotten them. And the whole time, they're being filmed by the not-so-talented documentarian Marty DeBurgi, played by the film's actual director, Rob Reiner. With its so terrible they're amazing songs and improvised jokes, it's no wonder that This Is Spinal Tap became an instant classic. And now Reiner is getting the band back together. Original stars Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, and Harry Shearer will be picking up their guitars and rocking around Stonehenge in the film's upcoming sequel, scheduled for release in 2024, right in time for the original's 40th anniversary. Reiner will return as both the film's director and DeBurgi. Here's hoping they can turn this sequel up to 11.
All right, Looper, you've given me some information that I did not know was coming, and some that I wanted to know, some that I wasn't about, but yeah, so that is the up-and-coming movies sequels of 2024. Are you excited about any one of those in particular? Are you looking forward to any of those? Are you surprised about some of the ones that they're going to do like I am? Like some of the ones from like 1996 and 1984. How long is too long? I don't know. I mean, I'll give a lot of them a chance. Spinal Tap's not for me. It's not really, I know it's a cult classic, but it's not geeky in that world for me. All right, my beautiful Geekables, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow along, do everything today with love. Every day's Geek Day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.